I feel a lot of shit been hitting me at once. Tired of the stress until my bro the roller runs. I feel the love, but they hate just as much. Always want attention, they don't get enough. I quit the lean, I don't do no double cups. Keep some OG in the raw, make sure it's stuff. Take my time with this shit, can't never rush. Just hit a lick on my shit for the bucks. I've been smoking on Zapa.
Yo. We back. High Society Podcast, we back with another one. You already know how we doing, man. High Society Podcast, episode 81. We back with another one, man. I'm your host, B-High. Got our host, Saj 24 in the building.
What's up, man?
What's going on, Saj? We got, you already know, man. Other co-hosts, we got Hess 973 in the building.
You already know.
Then we got a special guest, an honorable brother, today with us in here from the Nation of Islam, brother. What's going on, brother? Introduce yourself for the people.
Yes, sir. Once again, my name is Abdull Muhammad. I'm the student minister of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for the Muhammad Mosque of Islam, number 25, which is located in the city of Newark, New Jersey. And on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I want to thank you all for having me on this special podcast. We are greatly appreciated, and we thank you, brothers.
We appreciate you coming through, you know what I mean? Because this is a big, you know, you the first representative we had of the Nation of Islam up here, you know. I think it's important to especially get this message out here that you out here doing with the Newark Peace Agreement. I think that's very, very, very big. So tell us a little bit about what the Newark Peace Agreement is about.
Well, first and foremost, when you look at the risk assessment, or if you evaluate and identify those things that have a negative impact on our community, at the top of the list, there's always fratricidal conflict, us killing us, or the prison industrial complex, us going to jail. Mm-hmm. So statistically, according to the Gifford Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence in New Jersey, they say that although black men in New Jersey account for less than 8% of the population, we make up more than 70% of the homicide victims. And they say that gun violence is the third leading cause of death for children in New Jersey between the ages of 1 through 17. And in my city, Newark, New Jersey, over a 5-year period, we lost 122 young black men to gun violence. Also, according to the U.S. Democratic Economic Committee, they say that a black male in America is 20 times more likely to be killed with a gun than a white male in America. Then the CDC says that homicide is the leading cause of death for black men in America between the ages of 1 through 44, and it's the second leading cause of death for black women in America between the ages of 1 through 19. Then they say that 1 out of every 3 black children can expect to go to jail or prison in their lifetime, and that 1 out of every 11 black adults in America, they either on probation, parole, or they locked up in someone's facility. So the Newark Peace Agreement is a group-based group violence intervention mechanism to prevent, decrease, and help our people to manage their conflict so that we will not do those things that cause us to die or go to prison.
That's big. But like, a question, first of all, do you believe in the term black on black violence?
No, sir. I believe in the term of Negro on Negro violence.
Oh, explain. Please.
Because a lot of us, we've never been truly acquainted with what black is. You understand? A true black man would never kill another black man, but a Negro would kill another Negro. You understand? See, when we were kidnapped from our country and brought into America, we were made Negroes. Negro means that which is dead, that which is lifeless, that which is neutral. You understand? So slavery made us into that which America wanted us to be and not what God created us to be. You understand? So being dead psychologically, we have no love for self, no love for our own kind. And it's not having love for self is the root cause of hate, dislike, disunity, disagreement, quarreling, betrayal, snitching, fighting, and killing one another. You understand? So I don't believe on black crime, but I believe in Negro on Negro crime. And what you see happening in the ghettos all across America, that's not black people killing black people. That's oftentimes Negroes killing Negroes, because a Negro is a product of America.
Exactly. That's why I like to, I tell people a lot, that try to categorize all black people as a certain thing. And I'm like, yo, if you really just look, most black people are just living their everyday life, going to work, doing whatever they got to do. There's really a small percentage of people out there really doing the dumb shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Like in Newark, they say that 62% of the crime is done by 4% of the population.
This is what
you
I'm
understand?
saying.
But all over America is like that. Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles. A large part of the cities, they don't experience violent crime. It's really segregated to a small area among a select group of individuals. So they say that most of the crime that's done in these urban areas is done by 3 to 10% of the population. You understand? But the media and the news sensationalizes it and make you think that it's ubiquitous, like it's happening all over the city and you can't travel. And that's not the truth. You understand?
To put fear in you.
That's right. So the Newark Peace Agreement, we're going after a specific group of individuals and people that we're trying to do our best to help. Those that society deems irredeemable or incorrigible. Those that the average preacher or the average community leader is afraid of. You follow me?
I got what you're saying.
Wherever violence is, that's where you should be at. Because every onlooker is either a traitor or a coward. And there's a saying that the only thing necessary for evil to win or triumph is for good men to stand back and do nothing. And as I was telling my brother outside, in the black community, there's too much bystander apathy, which happens when a person is reluctant to intervene in an emergency situation because they assume that somebody else will. So they just stand back as bystanders and watch.
Like the sister in Ohio.
Yeah,
like
it's too much of that happening in our community. It's been happening and it's happening now. But when you can't intervene, you should try to. Because if your neighbor's house on fire, you should do your best to try to get some water and put it out. Because a strong wind could come and then your house could be on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's a lot of times it's the problem that we see in our community.
I think it goes back to like that what you said, self-love. And also, you want to talk even slaveries, like even before slavery, before even we got to America, we was like, you had a certain group of Africans that was enslaving Africans and selling Africans. So it's just like, like that, just that self-love is just kind of like you said, a specific amount of group. It's just been like, something's just been, it ain't been right.
Yes, sir. And particularly, again, like I said, it's our youth and it's our young people. So the African proverb says that it takes a village to raise a child. But then it also says if the child is not embraced by the village, the child will burn the village down in order to fill the village's warmth. So in Newark, we have over 70,000 children that are under the age of 18. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked us, do we have problem children or do our children have a problem? He said, and if our children have a problem, they are not the cause, but they are the effect, because children do what is natural until they learn what is normal. And according to the Children's Defense Fund, they say that a child or a black child is born every 75 seconds to a single mother. And they say that a black child is 3 times more likely to be in poverty if they're being raised in a single parent household. And over 51% of our children under the age of 18 in America, they're being raised in single parent households. So an article was written in 2015 called Where's All the Black Men? And in this article, they said there's over 1.5 million black men missing in America. They said it's 90,000 black men missing in just Philadelphia alone. 90,000. So they say that black women between the ages of 25 to 54, they outnumber black men 100 to 83. For every 100 women, there's only 83 black men. Where are we? We are in jail. Are we dead? So somebody has to do something, try to create something that will slow down, decrease, and prevent this killing. Because it can be decreased and it can be prevented. But I feel like a lot of our community leaders and activists, they are not addressing this or attacking it, you understand, with the type of inspiration and the type of consistency that it needs.
How important do you think having the traditional family structure, the way I believe that God presented it to us with a man, woman, and child? You understand? Like, how important you think that is? Because me personally, I believe that can also help prevent violence if this young brother may have a family and, and he really doing what he's supposed to do for his family, and you really have that that family structure. Like, you really created your own family. You got your wife, your children, and you got something to go home to and care about. You feel what I'm saying? Because we just seen what happened in Chicago when a young girl got killed in the backseat of her father's car.
7-year-old
girl.
Right.
And I'm thinking maybe if he was on a little bit different type of path.
Yes, sir.
And wasn't in the streets. Like, I mean, call it how I see it. Like, if you wasn't in the streets doing what you was doing, then that would have never happened if it was more of a traditional family value type of thing.
Well, in the city of Newark, they say that 63% of the households are headed by a single parent. You understand? And that's all throughout America when we see those type of statistics. But family is imperative because family is the cornerstone of the nation. Your family is your primary group, and your peers is the secondary group. So the reason that a lot of our brothers get involved into gang activity is because the nature of us is designed to be social beings. We was made to socialize. We was not made to be isolated off to ourselves. We gregarious creatures. We herd creatures. We travel in herds and packs. That's how God created us, to socialize, you understand, with people who are like us. That's natural. So we all have a need for what? Affiliation. Need for affiliation means you have a desire to be a part of a group. And when your family, your primary group is weak, then you begin to seek that validation from an outside source. That's where your peers come in. They call it your social convoy, those that you travel and move with. So because the family structure is so weak and we don't have that, the average black man don't have a father. They say there's over 18.4 million fathers missing in America. That 1 out of every 3 children are being raised in a household with no father. You understand? And when a child don't have a father, they're more likely to be impoverished, more likely to go to jail, more likely early teen pregnancy. You understand? So the statistics say that the father in the family structure is imperative. But against slavery, broke up our family structure. And when we do have a family, oftentimes it's dysfunctional, right? So what the brothers don't get at home, they go out to the streets to get it. You follow me? And the gang is not necessarily bad. The principle of brotherhood, you understand, coming together, like-minded individuals to form a cohesive unit, to do things together, that's a good concept. But we've been socially engineered to not do good, but to do wrong. To not do positivity, but to do negativity. And the enemy fears that. He sees our young men with the ability to come together in large groups, in large mass. But he's afraid that if they hear the right voice, a voice that will cause them to not turn the guns on each other, but on somebody else, you understand? Then we can have revolution in this country overnight. And that's what he fears. So RICO, you understand what a lot of our brothers are being imprisoned for? It's not just because our brothers are doing negativity. Trust me, our open enemy has never wanted us to organize. So he created what they call the Unlawful Gathering Act. So in 1702, do you know it was illegal in New York City for 3 or more black people to be together? In New Jersey, 1751, it was illegal for 5 or more black people to be together. You follow me? He never wanted us to be together socially, psychologically, or even physically. So he always did all that he could possibly do to keep us apart. You follow me? Because again, he never wanted us to organize. So when he see our brothers in the gangs, he say, man, they got the potential to organize and be powerful. We can't have that. You know what I mean? So we got to keep them divided. So what I do, I drop a paid informant in the midst of them to create confusion and chaos. So in Virginia in 1710, white folks created a law called meritorious manumission. And what the meritorious manumission said was that you as a slave could be emancipated or freed if you invented a new medicine, if you saved the life of your slave master, or if you told on a fellow slave. So the United States justice system was created to help a black man betray a black man. Oh, yes, it was. 1702, New York did the same thing. It was illegal for another slave to testify against a white man, but only he could testify against another black man in a conspiracy case. You understand? So a lot of brothers wondering, man, why are we telling on each other? We've been telling on each other to get free. Then they used to allow a black man or give you an annual pension between $50 and $250 if you told on another slave. So the system was always designed to create mistrust among us.
This ain't nothing new.
It ain't nothing new. You follow me? So a lot of times, one of the issues that we have, we're trying to get our brothers to adopt some terms that we don't trust one another. There's entirely too much distrust among us as a people. So we have to build and produce trust in order for us to create something that will help us. But again, this is transgenerational. What we feel and what we experience is nothing new. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad have taught us through the Honorable Minister Farrakhan that the wise man or woman is the one who have made a careful study of the past events of ancient and modern history, because the knowledge of the future is judged by the knowledge of the past. But then they said, if a race have no history, if it has no worthwhile tradition, it becomes a negligible factor in the thought of the world, and it stands in danger of being exterminated. So because we don't know what it was, we as a people don't know what it is, and we keep falling into these same traps over and over and over again, generation after generation.
Okay, but I want you to touch on what about the support for the family that the government has put in place that separates the man from the family.
By design,
like food stamps and housing. You know, sometimes they make you say this man is not here just so they can get housing, or just so they can get food stamps to eat and stuff like that. So what about this systematic stuff they doing with the housing and the support for the young families that's coming up now?
Well, again, brother, that's nothing new. They always wanted to separate the man from his woman. You follow me? Always. When we was on the auction blocks, they wanted to separate us. A man would marry a woman, they sell her off. You understand? Man marry a woman, they sell him off. Or they would sell her off, keep him, sell the children off. You understand? So there was a concerted effort, a systematic effort to separate the black man from the black woman, or to put one against the other. You follow me? There's many mechanisms and schemes that they have adopted to do that. But today you say it's welfare, or it is what it is. But as men, we got to be men. How, in God's holy name, could we allow an agent or foreigner or someone outside of our community to cause us to be divided? We need each other. And until we understand that, we're going to continue to be in this perpetual cycle of poverty, this perpetual cycle of violence. You understand? We cannot let somebody that's not of our community dictate what we do and how we do it. They would never allow that, but we allow it. Yeah. So I just seen Sister Tamika Mallory, and she was on Drink Champs, and they asked her about the term nigga and what she thought about it. And she said, well, I use the term nigga, you understand? But she was saying how other communities, there's been derogatory terms that they call Hispanics, or that they call Jews. And she was saying, how is it that we can use that term, but when you get on these records, they will never allow you to use the term that degraded them, but how can you use the term that degrades you?
Exactly.
So we have to understand that there is a plot and a scheme, but we have been given the answer. We've been given the tool key at the top of the page, but we are not following it. And a lot of this that you see us going through is willful ignorance, because the answers are right before us.
Yeah,
you understand? We see the police killing. We see the unjust system that we are in. So, I mean, we have to unite, because unity will solve 95% of our problems.
Yeah, but it's like, it seems like we're not, I'm looking at this news of the killing of the 15-year-old girl in Newark. The anti-violence.
Brother Sharif, yes, sir, our brother.
Activist. You know what I mean? Like, an 18-year-old did that.
Yeah, that would shock me.
Kidnapped her and killed her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but see, this is my thing. Like, how do we even get our brothers on the same page to even have a conversation and open up about issues like this? Like, cause it's a lot of people to get on the page. You feel what I'm saying? And you got people with long-standing histories of disrespect and death and blood, and I just don't know how we could get on the same page. I would love us to. I would love everybody in the city to get on the same page. What would be your first steps to saying that we could get on most of us could get on the same page and really make a real stride towards this Newark Peace Agreement?
Well, the Bible says in the beginning was the Word, so it starts with a conversation. It starts with asking questions that will stimulate thought. You follow me? And again, that's one of the issues in our community. We don't communicate. See, the root of community is communication. Look at the word community. How can you have a community where there's no communication? Yeah. So in our community, we used to just walking past each other. Not talking, not speaking. You understand? And that's detrimental. So it starts with just the small things. Man, saying hi. You see a young man walking, peace, black man, how you feeling? You understand? Opening up and getting more sensitive and empathetic towards one another because we real cold. But see, that's what the word nigga comes from. You know what a nigga is? It comes from the log mill, right? They call it the sawmill nigga. And a sawmill nigga is a piece of iron that helps the man that's cutting the wood to turn over the log. It's just a piece of steel. Yeah. That's what a nigga is. It's called a sawmill nigga. You understand? But see, once we were robbed of the knowledge of ourselves, we became cold and hard, just like that steel. We became still. We became callous. We became coarse. No sensitivity toward one another. We can't feel each other's pain. You understand? Collectively. So we can do each other's harm without thinking twice about it. See, that's a nigga. He's cold. He's callous. He don't want to speak. He's angry. He's frustrated. And all that's understandable. But there's only one life to live. And you got to do all that you can to try to stay here and keep this life and live prosperously. But again, I hear people talking about generational wealth. But how can you pass down wealth to a generation that's dead, in jail, or on drugs? Seriously. You can't. So we got to prioritize this thing. We do need wealth and we do need money, but that ain't the panacea. That ain't the end all be all. So there has to be something simultaneously going on. How many of these young brothers have money? Pop Smoke, King, but we seen so many of them that had money, but was it able to keep them here?
No.
Or they still fall victim, you understand, to the same issues that they had before they got the money. Yeah. And we see our brothers right now heading toward destruction and doom. And who is willing to intervene? I see my brother Quando Rondo. I got to talk about that. We seen what happened. But now who's talking about that? Yo, we going to squash this, man. We know you got a little child, and we don't want you to meet that same fate that our brother did.
But see, they don't really...
None of that going on.
They don't really squash it. See, the thing, what it is, it's a lot of the media and the fans' part of fault as well. It's another brother named Julio Fulio. He makes songs disrespecting.
Oh, man, I just seen that video.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Then he makes songs disrespecting dead people, and you know they asked him in the interview why. Basically, just asked him why do he do it, and his basic answer is because that's what get the views. That's what get him money. That's what people want to see from him. He drops a regular song that doesn't have anything like that in it, and it doesn't get the attention. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a lot, like it's on the fans' part and the people, the consumers, the media, everybody feeds into that. You know, and I mean, we love to listen to it, we love to hear it, but when something real happens, you know, everybody want to, you know what I mean? Like, you can't have it both.
Something real is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can't keep feeding this wolf and don't think that it's not going to grow. Right. And that's what happens.
I know.
We have become like swine. You understand? Well, we got to get filth and vulgarity in order to be entertained. But we can tell what kind of mind you have based on what you allow to entertain you. Input equals output. You follow me? So, again...
Man, that's crazy. I don't like that.
Look, again, somebody has to do something. Everybody can't just be bystanders watching. We see all of these brothers, these various different podcasts and sisters with these podcasts, and you talking to these brothers, but again, my thing is, who's trying to intervene? Because conflict is natural, it's normal. Wherever there's social interaction, there's going to be some conflict. You think Jews don't have conflict? You think whites don't have conflict? But ours always have to end so viciously and violently and brutally. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we need some arbitrators, some neutral people that will stand in the gap and say, listen, man, we got to squash this. Because if it's all about getting money, then let it be about that. But not... Look, if it's all about getting money, let's get money without having to kill one another, because you're not going to be able to enjoy the money that you work so hard to get if you dead. Yeah. Then after you die, we got to talk about, we hope he got his masters or he owned his music. You understand? And there's always some type of strife with us as a people in terms of us just getting along, us staying together. You understand? We always break up. G-Unit broke up. Rockefeller, bro. I mean, different. Damn, we just can't stay together long enough to create an institution that our babies could benefit from it. So our babies come up and they got to start at -1. Why? Because we had something, but it broke up. And that's why our success is not perpetual. How do you think white supremacy been able to last so long? Because it's indoctrinated in the institutions. It's institutionalized. So white supremacy is not about an individual.
Yeah, it's not about a person.
No, it's in Harvard. It's in Princeton. It's in Rutgers. It's in NJIT. It's in all of the institutions. You live in white supremacy.
Yeah, it's everything you do.
You live in it.
Yeah.
Motor vehicle is the whole thing.
And you live in it. Listen, our state capital is named after a former slave master, William Trent. You understand? So you know what kind of laws coming out of the capital. You follow me? We go to schools named after slave masters.
Wow.
We live on streets named after slave masters. We live on block. You live in it. So it's been institutionalized. So all white people could be going off the planet Earth. White supremacy would still exist and permeate because it's in the institutions. It's in the law. It's in the justice system. You follow me? It's in the social system. It's in the banking system. So we behind enemy lines. And I hope that we are seeing that with a 15-year-old girl, Ma'Khia Bryant, being shot down so brutally and so viciously. 13-year-old in Chicago being shot down so brutally and so viciously.
Yeah.
So how can we as a people now have the unmitigated gall to turn a gun on another brother? When we are hedged in on all sides, man, there is no out for us. So all we have is us.
That's all we got.
But it's like, I think it goes back to that anger, man, because like we know that we have a disadvantage since birth, you know what I mean? And then it starts coming into play when you get like 12, 13, maybe you start seeing other kids or other things, people having other things and other opportunities. So that kind of breeds you towards, I got to take a risk. I got to take a risk to get ahead. That's the only way. That's how the mindset in that youth mindset, you just like, yo, I got to take a risk. Oh, that's the only way I'm going to be able to get ahead, to get that mansion on the hill, get that, white picket fence.
Yeah, it's about a shortcut. That's what a lot of people don't want to do the work. They just want to get to the end result. But I got a question about, I want to know, how do you feel about, the vice president of the United States, Kamala Harris, and another thing I want to know, after you answer that, I want to know how you feel about the Black Lives Matter as an organization.
Well, first, again, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad have taught us that through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that history is all of our studies the most attractive and best qualified to reward our research, as it develops the springs and motives of human actions, which displays the consequences of circumstances which operates most powerfully on the destinies of the human being. He said that history is the recorded deeds of men, women, and nations as they struggle against impediments in their evolutionary march toward the absolute. So when you look at America, the founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson said, I advance it therefore as a suspicion only, that the blacks, whether originally a distinct race or made distinct by time and circumstances, are inferior to the white race in both the endowments of body and mind. Then Abraham Lincoln said, there's a physical difference between a white and a black race, which I believe will forever forbid the two races from living together. He said, but while they do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior. And not as much as any man am in favor of having a superior position assigned to by the white race. Then Benjamin Franklin said, why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America when we have such an opportunity to exclude the black and the Indian race? So again, America was built by white people, for white people, and not for you and I. So it's a historical fact that America was racist and is racist. America's old social scientists have shown and proven how racist America is. So for her to make that statement, I think it's a fallacy and it's a gross falsehood. And not only do I think she knows it, but her constituents, and I think even those on her team know. You understand? That was a very inaccurate statement. You follow me? But again, I think she's judging America based on what America has done for her. But we are taught that no one man or woman can rise above the condition of their people. You follow me? So if you good as an individual, but 20 others are not good, then we ain't good. You understand? Because goodness is not based on what's done for one person, but what the whole is experiencing. You follow me? So because you have ascended to to be the vice president of the United States. That don't mean that America is not racist. Look at the previous administration before Donald Trump, Barack Obama, and what him and his wife suffered and faced. They call his wife a monkey. So many caricatures. They mocked Barack Obama and his wife for being black. His wife said, I wake up every day in a house that was built by slaves. The reason that the White House is where it is, listen, you live in a place called Washington, District of Columbia. Exactly. It's a known fact that George Washington owned 350 slaves. George Washington, primary cook, Hercules. He was George Washington's chef. So I mean, I'm just flabbergasted that she would say that. But again, I think I do know why she would say that. But I don't want to assume that I know her state of mind. But you can't judge America based on what happened for you, because the masses of your people are suffering. 75,000 black women right now are missing in America.
Yeah.
So all of this black girl power, I understand. But if it's going to be power, let it be power. And let us go back and get our children,
That's why I think it should be about your people first. No matter what you are, no matter what your job is, no matter what your sexual orientation is, I believe it should be about your people first. You feel what I'm saying? Especially when it come to rights and all of that stuff. Because you got Joe Biden passed bills for the Asian community the first week or so. He was in, to make
the transgender community
crimes against them, hate crimes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, so many other communities and ethnicities have gotten legislation passed to protect them. You understand? We know what the Jews receive. Israel right now receives $3 billion a year from America, the United States, because of what happened to the Asian community when they were put in internment camps during World War II. You understand? They got reparations. So all of these other communities have received reparations for what they suffered at the hands of America, except the black man and woman. Joe Biden, you said at your inaugural address that you had our backs because Stacey Abrams and the brothers and sisters in Georgia, they pushed to make that a blue state and got you elected. But look at how deceptive you are, that you would now get at your state of America address, you would talk about transgender, you would talk about Asians, and then you would talk a little bit about a weak George Floyd Policing Act. You understand?
Talk about it.
So again, the hypocrisy that permeates from that office is not new with Joe Biden. That's always been the case. It happened during Bill Clinton, the first black president. But then as our scholars and our historians begin to dig deep and research, this man Clinton was very wicked. As it relates to black folks. We know what Joe Biden did with the criminal bill, you understand, as it relates to putting black men in prison, and now we're suffering from mass incarceration at his hands. You follow me? So for black people to be so easily deceived to think that something would change or that he would be different, shame on you. But my leader, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, taught us that sometimes God gives you the leadership that you deserve. So if you was foolish enough to think that voting him in, you understand, was somehow you would get justice, somehow you would get equality, somehow you would get freedom. We've been here for 465 years and we haven't gotten it yet. So that's wishful thinking. It's not coming. It's not happening. Not from their hands. So we're going to have to form a united front. Well, I don't like to say that because we do enough fronting, but we're going to have to come together as a united body. You understand? And get what we need.
Well, I'm looking at the peace agreement, and I'm thinking should that be a part of should that turn into we policing ourselves? Should that be in the community handling these problems ourselves in a peaceful manner, like the Jews? Because the Jews, when something happens to the Jews, they have their own police that come to the scene.
That's right, they got their own system. Well,
so
they got their own police.
They have their own police.
That's right. They got their own police down there in what's that, Lakewood, Hillside, New Jersey, even Jersey City.
Patterson,
you understand? Yeah, they got their own.
I had no idea.
Yep.
But that's called intelligence. Why wouldn't you want to police yourself? You understand? That's called intelligence. That's called being an awakened man. But again, we've been so put to sleep and we're so docile and so lethargic and so full of self-hate and we so shackled mentally and psychologically that we don't think to police ourselves. You understand? We have been robbed of the desire to even want to do something for us. God has created every creature to want to do for itself. The bee do for itself, the ant do for itself, the duck do for itself. The only people ain't doing for themselves is the so-called American Negro. He's sitting and waiting for somebody else to give him what he can give himself. But again, it's predicated on unity because we got all of the knowledge. We got all of the knowledge. Black people in America are some of the most educated people on the planet. They say over 4.5 million black people in America have a bachelor's degree or more. We got judges. We got lawyers. We got brothers and sisters with military experience. So we have everything. Only thing we don't have is unity. And unity don't mean that we always going to agree. Unity don't even mean that we're not going to argue and maybe have a fight here and there. Unity don't mean that. Unity not kumbaya. That ain't unity. You understand? But unity means that we always see the bigger picture, regardless of our difference. We see the bigger picture. We see the bigger goal. You understand? Yeah, and we won't allow a petty disagreement because most times our disagreements be petty. Sometimes we do. Our beef is legitimate. Sometimes our beef is legitimate. But there's a way to handle a legitimate beef. You understand? But again, unity don't mean that we always going to agree and that we not going to argue. But because you didn't like how I talk, damn, you going to leave and ruin a whole organization?
Yeah. The response.
That's how angry.
That's how a lot of things happen.
We get. Yeah. Forget this team.
It's like we have an issue with responding. Like our response. You know what I'm saying? Like every time with conflict, our response is negative.
But look what you was listening to. You just were listening to Pooh Shiesty, Get It Back in Blood. So what you think your response gonna be? Input equals output. So imagine you've been listening to Get It Back in Blood all day. I love Pooh Shiesty. I'm not knocking my brother because he's just a victim like me. But I'm just saying. Imagine you've been listening all day, Get It Back in Blood. All day you've been listening to that. So if somebody takes something from you, what's gonna be your response?
Get it back in
I'm
blood.
going to get my back in blood because you ain't been reading all day. You've been listening to Shiesty all day. So what's going to be your response? I'm going to get my back in blood. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to reach up. You're going to reach up, but what you're reaching up to get out of your mind is something that's been playing all day. You know what I'm saying? All day you've been listening to Lil Baby. I love Lil Baby. I'm not knocking my brothers, but I'm just saying.
No, yeah, we understand.
You feel me? You evolve into what you involved into.
Yeah.
So what you involved in, that's what you're going to evolve into. So you can't be listening to garbage all day.
You can't.
And then not expect to not produce flies and maggots, because what do garbage produce?
Yeah.
Flies and maggots. So what come out of your mouth? Garbage.
Yeah, you right.
What come out of your thoughts? That's all you listening to. So you become like a swine. You become like a human pig, because all you eat is slop. So you was listening to garbage all day, then you like, man, forget that, man. I'm gonna go watch this little girl do her thing. You know, I'm gonna watch. Come on, man.
Yeah, you're right.
So, you know,
right.
Yeah, you absolutely correct.
And you know what? And I work with children that are like between 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you know, these kids is in a group home. You know what I mean? And they listen to that stuff too. You know what I mean?
I listen. I go online and I see the TikTok videos. And listen, I get it. I understand. I'm not knocking nobody because the Honorable Minister Farrakhan have not sent me to condemn. So I'm not. It's not condemnation. I'm just speaking the obvious. I see children on, 8, 9.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, he's 10.
Yeah.
So you feeding him. He's still impressionable. You still impressionable. You become like that what you submit to. And science has shown how music frequency can alter the cells, the molecular structure of the body. They've done experiments where they took a plant that was dead and put music next to it. And based on the music that they put next to it, the plant would either grow or die. Music is vibration. Music is frequency. So how are you vibrating? You understand? What tone scale are you vibrating on? You cannot listen to garbage all day and then expect to have mental and spiritual life. It's not going to happen. So when you look at our children and their behavior, how antisocial they are, look at what they're listening to. Look at what they're imitating. Look at who's influencing them. The culture is toxic. The culture is misogynist. You understand? You wonder why our women are going missing. There's no respect for the black woman at all. She's looked at as being WAP.
Yeah.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So she don't respect herself. The black man don't respect himself, and we don't respect each other, and we don't value each other, and that lack of value does not allow us to evaluate ourselves. You understand? See, where there's a lack of value, there's a lack of evaluation. You follow me? So respect means to look again. You got to look again at your brother, look again at your sister, and make another reassessment of them and her. But again, the culture is toxic. The culture is, again, swine. The culture is full of filth and degradation. There is some good about the culture, but I'm saying the violence that we see being perpetrated in these communities, man, is predicated on evil and filth. And how can you love somebody that has done you evil or is doing you evil? You can't. So the black man's potential is God, but his reality is devil. And a lot of these crimes that he's doing, he's not in his right frame of mind. He's chemically induced. You don't need drug. You are drug. And what I say, you are drug, meaning that every external chemical is already within you. You think that God did not know that as a human being, you was going to face difficulty? You was going to face pain, shock, and trauma? He did. So he laced your brain with chemical sedatives to help you go through stress, go through shock, go through pain. But stress depletes the mind of those natural chemicals. And when the mind is depleted of those natural chemicals, then you got to find it from an outside source. Yeah. You got to try to get it from the weed or the cigarette because you don't have it naturally. Why? Because your brain is toxic. Your blood is toxic. What have you been eating all day? I know why you angry and frustrated. You be eating them damn cookies all day. Sugar, sweet. I know you mad. You take the minute anger and the frustration. I know you mad. When the last time you ate a piece of fruit?
It do.
Ask the black man, when the last time you ate a piece of fruit? Y'all had some fruit snacks. No. Now I ain't done no damn fruit snacks. When the last time you had a piece of fruit? When the last time you had a grape? An orange? A banana? Ask the black man, it's been a couple of weeks. That's why you frustrated.
Yeah, you gotta eat. You gotta eat right, man.
It's all chemistry.
You gotta put that goodness in your body, man.
Come on, man.
But before we get out of here, though, I want you to just we could quickly run through these
Yes,
these things we got on the Newark Peace Agreement. We got one side that's for the streets.
Yes, sir.
Now what's on this side right here? We got
the other side is for the suites, the businesses and corporate entities.
Okay.
That makes millions of dollars in our community, but we don't benefit. And every institution has a social responsibility towards populace. You can't just be in our community getting these tax abatements, but you're not giving nothing back. So we saying that, listen, man, if you a corporation and you in the city of Newark, we asking you to agree that you're going to do all within your power to hire and provide retraining programs for any and all participants of the Newark Peace Agreement. How dare we ask our brothers in the streets to agree to some terms and not ask those individuals in the suites not to agree to some terms?
That's smart.
So we asking everybody. We everybody on board on the same page. You follow me?
That's smart. I was gonna ask you that because I'm like, one of the biggest hurdles when you asking dudes in the street not to do certain things is you also have to provide an opportunity to replace whatever they doing.
Yes, sir.
Or they not gonna be receptive to it at all.
Yes, sir.
Like if you don't provide a alternative, so that's pretty good. Like for everybody who's participating in the Newark Peace Agreement, that's for the street side, all gets the benefit for the sweet side.
That's right. We asking them if you participate in the Newark Peace Agreement, we asking these different entities and corporations to help us out, give us an economic base. You understand? The brother that just came home or the brother that's on parole or probation, look past his record. He's willing to create a safe atmosphere and space so that your business can operate. So because 60% of the people that live in Newark are white. They live outside of Newark. You understand? So when little Susie walk into the train station, brother that signed up for the Newark Peace Agreement, he gonna make sure Raheem don't hit in the head and take her pocketbook. Because nobody want to have business where there's violence. You follow me? So we saying, listen, these brothers are willing to come to the table and say they're going to agree to some terms. Or we asking you to help them and back them. Really, you owe it to them. Anyway, we want to get technical, start talking about something. You owe it to them. You You understand? Do you know that white folks were solicited to New Jersey by being offered 60 to 150 acres of land for every slave they owned?
Nah, I had no.
Listen, the median net wealth for a white family in New Jersey is the highest in America. It's $352,000 for a white family. The median net wealth is $352,000. You know how it is for me? How much for me and you? $6,100. The individual net wealth for a black individual is $179. So how did white folks' net wealth get to be that big? Land. See? So the Dutch solicited, the British solicited white folk. Look, come to Jersey, and we'll give you 60 to 150 acres, period, for every slave you own. So you got 10 slaves. How many acres you getting? You understand what I'm saying? So they're not just rich because they're rich. They got rich off of our backs. And then in 1704, they created a law which said that it was illegal for black people to own land in New Jersey.
Wow.
It's a lot to go over, brother. You're not just broke because you broke.
I know. But you know,
you're not just broke because you broke in.
It's hard.
I'm just saying.
It's hard for a lot of people to process that. Like, it's a lot of. I mean, I talk to dudes, man. You wouldn't believe, like, they mind frame and how they think of themselves. Like, a lot of times people talk, and you know, it's sad, man. It's sad to hear what your own brothers think of themselves sometimes. You know, it's crazy to me. Like, it blows my mind sometimes, and that's the person I'm talking about. Like, those the guys, you know. But everybody can't go either. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody can't go either. You know, some people gonna be left behind, man. But it is what it is. You know, as long as the majority of us get to where we gotta go, man. The Newark Peace Agreement, I think is dope.
It is, man. And
I
unity,
think it's real
man.
Dope, man. Anything we could do to help out.
Yeah, just listen, I need y'all brothers to just take the agreement, and we got to stimulate conversation. Repost it on your page. Y'all know brothers in Newark, you know what I'm saying? There's somebody out there in the street, give it to them. What you think about this? You know what I'm saying? We'll sign your people up. Yeah, we got some people that you could talk to. You know what I'm saying? And direct them to us. And we'll follow up. Or even if you see somebody online that you know, man, talk to him, send that to him. We will do that. We'll get them online. Because it's, again, this is a revolution of prevention and not a revolution of reaction. Mm-hmm. We trying to prevent violence from happening. We don't want to wait till it happens and then come and go do a march. No, we want to talk to the brothers prior. You see what I'm saying? So when he got that gun and he about to, something I said may be resonating. I can't do that. This is my brother. My brother is my other self. I can't do that. And he'll put it up. But if you ain't talking to him and Pooh talking to him all day, talking about get it back in blood, then that's the vibration he operating on. But I'm still saying, go ahead, listen to Pooh, Shiesty. I ain't knocking it. But I need you to listen to us too, so you can have some nice balance. You see what I'm saying? Because I need you to have that same get it back in blood energy with them people that don't live in our community that come and kill us, like the same way you have it with the man that you saying that's your op. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah, that make a lot of sense, man.
Yes, sir. They probably like, yo, we hate Pooh Shiesty. I'm about to lose so many followers now. No. I love Pooh Shiesty. I'm just saying, that's my brother. I'm just using that as an example to say sometimes what be floating in our mind. You know what I mean? Because I'm saying sometimes you got to
talk
get
about any rapper shit. They all rap about it. It could be anybody.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Lil Durk, anybody. I hate when these rappers call. And I love Lil Durk. But then he said, I hate when these rappers be calling these rappers brothers. I'm like, damn, don't say that. We trying to get the black man to change his language. But he said, I hate when these rappers be telling these rappers brothers. Only brothers in my eyes. I'm like, oh, don't say that, Lil Durk. You know they love you. I love you too. Yeah. So we are trying to change that culture in the language. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah, I need you calling each other brothers. But look, brothers, man, I got another...
we definitely.
Man, I appreciate you, brothers, and I love you, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you coming through, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Brother Muhammad, man, from the Nation of Islam, man. But yo, it's Hot Society Podcast. You know how we giving it up, man. That was grand opening, grand closing, man. We didn't really have to do much today. You feel what I'm saying? But yo, Newark Peace Agreement, man. This is dope. I mean, anybody want to participate? We gonna have the information up on the page. You know, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe below. I'm B-High, that's Sash 24. That's Hess 973. This is Hot Society Podcast. This is Brother Muhammad, man. And we out of here, man. Episode 81, man. See y'all next week.
See y'all, man.
If it's stuck, said you fought to fold them up.